Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will show you the Shaddoll Chaos deck post Chaos Origins. This is an unexplored deck so far, so I decided to throw a couple of hours and play the deck, see how it goes. It actually went fine. This deck is very complicated. It does have some bricks, so the main thing is what ratios you're gonna play to minimize the bricks and maximize the um, consistency. This is a good start for those who want to start playing the deck, this list. So yeah, mainly the idea is that Shaddoll and Chaos need a secondary engine. Um, and it's very difficult to include Shaddolls in anything relevant because the best cards of Shaddolls, which are Grista and Lev Shaddoll Fusion, lock you pretty hard from the whole turn from the extra deck. So you need an engine that doesn't use the extra deck, or it is Shaddolls, but yeah. That engine is Chaos because it focuses around the ritual monsters and summoning from the hand, not so much the extra deck. So the lock doesn't really matter. Plus, the Chaos cards also need a secondary engine to function, and the Trap card, which is their best card, discards for effect. So, getting the ability of triggering a bunch of Shaddoll names on top of getting some searches is pretty good. And the idea is that you can also have some Saki turn 0 plays with Kurinfo, setting the Trap card, adding something and discarding Squamata or Grista, which results in a turn 0 window, which is pretty good. Also, the Chaos cards do have some draw phase plays, so you can also play around roll quite a bit. This is the list. It's a good first start base to start playing the deck if you're interested in it. So I will try to show you some combos, and then we will go and see some games. So let's start with some one card combos. Let's start with Armageddonite, which is the only normal summon of the deck. That's why you play 3 of these. Armageddon doesn't really conflict with the deck. So yeah. So you go Armageddon, sending Squamata and Grista. This is a very typical line in the deck. Banish everything for the new Shaddoll Fusion, which is insane by the way. It's a Towers, which searches a Shaddoll card or Void Spell Trap. This card is actually insane. What you're gonna search is the second best card of your deck after the Fusion, which is Lev Shaddoll Fusion. On activation, it sends any Fusion Master from the extra deck, including like an Albion, Garura, Elder Entities. And then contribute a Fusion Master to special summon a Shaddoll from the extra deck. And this is also treated as a Fusion summon, so you can summon the monster back, which is insane. And you can also summon this free from the extra deck if you tribute another monster in the grind game. The monster you're gonna send is Infernoid Evil because when sent to the graveyard or banished, keep that in mind. You can add the Void Spell Trap, so you add Void Unleashing, which searches 2 cards and then discards 1. You don't have to discard the card that you search, which is really relevant in this deck because you can discard something like Summon Skull. So you go Fusion into the new Fusion, which is Wendy Kuruhu, okay, which is a Book of Taiyu and the Book of Moon for the opponent's monsters, and it adds any Shaddoll card from the graveyard if it's into the graveyard. Construct will get you back Shaddoll Fusion. You're gonna set Ariel with Wendy, you're gonna flip Ariel with the Fusion, then you're gonna link off into Construct, Fusion Summon into the second Construct, add back Wendy, or you can even add back Squamata. You typically want to add back Squamata. I'm showing a different line that focuses more on playing on your opponent's turn. Now on your opponent's turn, on draw phase, you're gonna activate the trap card, flipping the Wendy, summoning a Squamata, so you get the pop effect. Or you can even summon a beast if you want to draw 2. Then you're gonna fusion into another Wendy. You can flip the Squamata to pop a card, and then you have Shaddoll Schism for Winda, sending a Dark Monster plus locking your opponent, and a lot of follow-up. So this is a 1-card combo. Let's showcase the other combo. Yeah. Here we will showcase the left Shaddoll fusion, the one card combo. It's sort of similar to the Armageddon Knight. Left Shaddoll will send up Kalon, which will search and discard Sukamata, sending Grista. Then Grista effect fuse into the Mesa. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Construct will send the Hedgehog. From there, it's almost the same combo as before. You're gonna search Incarnation. Then you're gonna search a fusion with Wendy. You're gonna fuse Wendy and Construct into the Wendy fusion. You're gonna summon Ariel, flip Ariel, summoning the Squamata, summoning the second construct trigger, chain block with Wendy to play around as Blossom. Then construct, sending the construct adding back Schism, set 2, set Squamata on your opponent's turn, you have the trap card to flip the Squamata for a pop. So yeah, let's showcase that combo as well. So now we'll showcase the 2-card combo of the deck and how it synergizes with the Chaos Engine. So for this combo you need Gurifo or Swordsman. It's sort of the same. Gurifo is a bit better because you can do it in draw phase. And basically any Shaddoll, but Squamata is the best one. So I'm gonna go Gurifo, Mind Shuffle for Skull Archfiend, and then you're gonna discard Squamata, which will send Grista, summoning the Mersacher. Add left Shaddoll fusion, then you go into main, left Shaddoll, evil into unleashing. This way you get Hedgehog with construct into Wendy. You do the same thing again. You're gonna search a trap card and the spell. This time you're gonna search Schism because you can discard the Skull Archfiend and not the trap card that reborns. And now Skull Archfiend will dump the ritual, adding back the chaos. Ritual will activate, adding back this and Skull Archfiend. You can also add back something else if you use the Swordsman, for example, for follow-up. Then from there is almost the same combo. You're gonna summon this. You can also summon Squamata, it doesn't matter. Grista is good in this deck because it's a level 7, which you can bounce with Mind Shuffle to summon one of your guys. Then you're gonna fuse into Construct. You can add back Grista, which you can discard on your opponent's turn. Shaddoll Beast will draw a card. And keep in mind, this all starts with 2 cards in hand. Suddenly you have 7. Then you're gonna bounce Construct with a Ritual to summon this. This can add back Unleashing for the next turn. Skull Archfiend of Chaos is very good in this deck because it recycles back the resources for an infinite Schism basically. So you're gonna do this and then set. On your opponent's turn, you're gonna activate Fusion, setting this and Construct. Both of them will trigger, you will chain block, so Skull Archfiend will resolve, add back El Shaddoll, and add the ritual. These are protected from Chaos, so a Fallen Virtus is not gonna work on Schism. This cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it's pretty strong. One thing you can do is Mind Shuffle, add Gurifo, which is a bit of protection, and then send Grista. Grista can then fuse into another monster. For example, you can send a Construct. This is an extension in case, for example, someone dropleted the window. This way you can banish with Incarnation and another monster. You can flip the window, and then you can activate Schism for the Wendy fusion. And then also, now you're not locked, so you can use Mind Shuffle to special summon the BLS, banish a card, then you can Book of Taiyo the window and Book of Moon on of their own monsters. So even through droplet, the lock is still live again. You still have this protection, and now you still have a Mind Shuffle, summoning another Chaos, getting back the Ritual spell, and have an infinite grind game with just a 2-card combo. So these are the combos. Let's go ahead and showcase some games. So yeah. First match is against, it should be Kultun? Yeah, it's Kultun. So he does have 2 hand-traps, a board breaker, and the best 2-card engine in his deck. Let's see how we can play around that. We start with left Shaddoll fusion, dumping the evil. This we do because we can sort of play around roll because we have fusion, a Shaddoll monster and a wind monster, and because we have Wendy specifically, we can do some stuff with the Wendy fusion. So we go unleashing, revealing the fusion because we want to search a monster to play around some hand traps. And then we search Schism. We're gonna discard Skomata, Skomata will send Hedgehog, and then we will go ahead and add Krista. The reason we do this is to play around Bell, because obviously if he doesn't negate Unleashing, he doesn't have Us Blossom because this card is insane. So he doesn't have Us Blossom, we read that very easily, so we can play around Bell now, which is the second best hand trap against our deck. We go Fusion into Wendy Fusion, chain blocking with Grista chilling 1, this is the important thing you want to resolve, and then Wendy chilling 2. Wendy will almost always summon Ariel. Sometimes you want to summon Beast if you want to draw more cards, but we can draw one later in the combo eventually. So you go Mersacher searching the El Shaddoll Fusion, which is one very good interruption, and now we can also play around Imperm, because anytime he decides to Imperm, we can chain El Shaddoll Fusion. He couldn't Imperm so far, because the moment he Imperms anything, it doesn't really matter. This is unaffected, and this we can very easily dodge. We also have Fallen Virtues, but we don't really want to use it now. So yeah, we set the Skomata as an interruption with Ariel instead of summoning Phase Up. We have Construct and Mersacher. Mersacher can special summon from the graveyard, so this way we can get access to the Link to Shaddoll Link. And now, since we deck thinned for like 11 cards, we go Send Beast in hopes we draw one Chaos card. The chances are really high, yes, we draw the Swordsman, so now we also have access to the Chaos package. Mind Shuffle, add and discard Archfiend of Chaos. Then we are gonna go activate Ritual of Light and Darkness. This is the only point he can Ghost Bell, so it is correct to Ghost Bell here. We don't get access to the Ritual spell, therefore we don't get access to Black Chaos, which is fine. Then we go Fusion Summon. Again, if he decides to Imperm, we can chain El Shaddoll Fusion or activate Fusion in Resolution. So he's gonna hold Imperm for his turn, most likely. So Construct Chain Block, setting the Incarnation, so this way we can also sort of play around Imperm. If we send to the graveyard with Mind Shuffle, even if he Imperms this one, we still have a Book of Taiyu to flip Skomata to pop a monster on his turn. So it's pretty good. We can play around these interruptions very easily. Here I do misplay. I don't know why I add back the Infernal Fusion. I need this card in the graveyard to add back with Black Chaos. But yeah, don't do that, guys. Skull Archfiend of Chaos, really good here. We send back the Ritual spell. So when we fuse with this, we can add back the BLS. He activates Imperm on draw phase, which is pretty normal to do. Rotary, Reveal Reco, pretty good for him. So he goes here, I can activate Fallen Virtues. If he activates something like Kultun Synchro to dodge, we can change Schism, or even El Shaddoll Fusion might be a bit better to go for Winda. With these two, so he's locked, and the moment he summons anything, we have the attributes for a Schism to send, therefore he cannot use any of his cards to basically play. So I go Fallen Virtues to pop it, he goes Mix. Now I do have El Shaddoll Schism for a second Wendy to send this to the graveyard because it's a wind. I go Mind Shuffle here, I search Gurifo, I will discard the trap card, and then the trap card can pop the Mix. Again, if he has a Kulton Synchro, I can chain El Shaddoll Fusion and Schism to prevent him from playing. Yeah, he is gonna activate Albion to set a second Fallen Virtues, but we also have one of our own. The reason I go El Shaddoll Fusion here is to get access to the Ritual spell, and the Wendy Kiru can get me access to a good Shaddoll card from the graveyard if I want to. So I go and search BLS, and I add back Beast for more follow-up. I start my turn here, as you see, in the main phase, with like 11 cards in my hand, and I can Fusion Summon with the Winda, so the lock doesn't really hurt me. I send Grista, I summon Mersacher, send another Left Shaddoll Fusion, and now all I need to do is basically play around a double set. In this specific deck, it can't be something impactful. So I go Chilling 1 Ritual spell, Chilling 2 Gurifo to set. Then ban Securifo for the whole cost of Black Chaos. Black Chaos is gonna add back FNV, which is insane. Try to force one of the sets, chain the trap card, summon, force the other one. So yeah, that's GG. Yeah, no chance in beating me here. Game 2, I have Purulia. He has 2 hand traps, and unfortunately, these are the best hand traps, and he has 2 extenders. Here, I Ash Blossom this one because I don't want him searching Ash Blossom if he has combo, because I have Shaddoll Fusion and Unleashing, 2 cards that Ash Blossom can really easily negate. I need one of them to resolve. So he goes, unfortunately, Synchro for Rotary, which means full combo. He will stack my top deck, he will look at the hand, and I don't think I will get any more draws into Purulia, which is unfortunate. So top deck Fuga and Fusion. He gives me back the Fusion because he knows Fuga can also be material in this deck because it's a wind. He goes Zalen, real unfortunate. I do prevent him searching as Blossom, so if I get rid of the Zalen, I can activate the Shadow Fusion hopefully. But he has both Clip and Reco, which means he has Arrays and 2 more hand traps. I can never win this game. Game 3, I have a really good hand. In draw phase, I can do my line. Here there were 2 potential lines. I could go for discarding Skull Archfiend to search the ritual and then send the Shadolls with a ritual spell, but I don't think that gets me enough value, so I decided to go for the Shaddoll line first, which could be misplayed, doesn't really play around hand traps. I think if I did Skull Archfiend first, I would be able to play around 1 or 2 hand traps, but yeah, let's just swing it, right? So we do the combo, Mersacher Fusion, Fusion into Evil. We have a Shaddoll card to show, so we're gonna search the spell into trap card, which is gonna be Fusion and Schism, really good. Discarding Skull Archfiend, and from there we get infinite value. Ritual add back, we add back Skull Archfiend, which is a free fodder for later. Then we go the usual line that I showcased earlier, Fusion, Wendy Kiru, Construct, flipping the aerial with Wendy, normal summoning Hedgehog because I want this face down as an interruption. Against this deck is really good. And then we proceed with a Link to play. Construct Wendy, add back, not Wendy, I think we want to add back Hedgehog here. Shaddoll Beast, after deck thinning for like 12 cards, it's really easy to draw non-engine with Shaddoll Beast, that's why I love this card. We draw Solemn Accusation, so we can play around a Board Breaker, which now Kilton plays. And then we do the typical line by shuffling back the ritual. So when we fuse with El Shaddoll Fusion and Skull Archfiend, we get BLS. Plus, we ended our field with like 5 cards in hand, and as Blossom, we have protection from Evenly with Accusation, which is really good, and we have Winda and Schism, and more follow-up eventually. So I go Mind Shuffle, discarding Hedgehog, adding more follow-up, searching Grista for when I want to activate El Shaddoll Fusion. He goes Illusion Gate. I will chain Winda here because Winda cannot be destroyed. If he chooses to take one of my guys, that's fine, because now he cannot special summon anymore, and I know whatever he takes, I can pop it with Schism. Now, he cannot, thankfully, he cannot take Mersacher because this can only be fusion summoned. He cannot special summon from the graveyard, neither can we. I'm setting Skull Archfiend and Grista as the materials for El Shaddoll, so now both of these will trigger, and if he doesn't take, I can also trigger Squamata, which is really good for me. So chain block everything the way I needed to. Grista last chain, it doesn't really matter if he has Bell, it's better for him, for me actually, to Bell it here, because now I can resolve Schism. I go Sekinaga just for the troll. I can very easily reset the window if I want to, and I have Accusation as Blossom. Because I can just send Incarnation and do the line that I showed earlier. You don't really need to do this, you can also set like a second window. The only way he can out here is to either Q summon Harmonia and beat Winda with Battle, or the GG Kilton boosting Loudness Ward to 3k. These are the only 2 potential ways he can beat me, so I have answers to both of them. Ash Blossom the Q, and then bans Kultun, because why not? Then I can do the final line just because I saw it earlier. Then we can book Q, sending mix. Then we still have Mind Shuffle, getting this back for free, summoning a BLS if he has an extender. We have Sekinaga to negate an extra deck monster, Windallock, Book of Moon. Yeah, this is just insane. So this was the game against Kultun, and now we're gonna show you one last match against Blitzkrieg. And Blitzkrieg is a deck full of board breakers and full of cards that pop your cards. So let's see if we can manage to beat them. So now he does have the 2-card combo for return 0 play, which is really good here. For him at least. He has a pop, which allows him to summon Whiska at any time. And Whiska can pop a card on my field without targeting and negate one of my monsters. So that's why he activates Crack to basically pop my Armageddonite. And he does have a negate and the pop turn 0, as I said, on top of popping my monster. Thankfully, the Shaddoll cards are unaffected, and Void Unleashing can do the combo with Scalar's Fiend of Chaos. Now what I want to do is set up Black Chaos of Dark Magic or whatever, because if I summon this on the field, this is unaffected from Whiska, and this can protect my back row, so he cannot pop my left Shaddoll Fusion, which is the important card that I want to resolve 100%, and later Schism, I guess. So I add back the Scalar's Fiend, I go Ritual. The reason I'm sending the BLS here is to make him scared a bit of Swordsman, because I can very easily special summon the Swordsman, which is going to be unaffected with Ritual of Light and Darkness, and then he cannot do anything about it. If he decides to summon more guys with Whiska potentially, I can banish them. So I want him to be scared of Swordsman, so if he has Whiska plus another Thunder, he's not gonna summon both of them. This is how I play around that. So he goes Whiska. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that this is unaffected, yeah. We had a good laugh about it. So we go Fusion, sending... Yeah, I don't know why I did that, because this is a negate for only monsters, but I don't want him to negate my Upcalon, so I will go Black Chaos, banish this face down. Then Fusion, sending Upcalon, discard the Scalar's Fiend because it's free. Fugalos is more useful in the hand than Scalar's Fiend because we can summon it from the graveyard. And Fugalos is also the wind monster that we want for Wendy. So yeah, Fuga is generally a good card in this deck, even if you see it going first. We go Beast because I want to draw more non-engine against the deck. I do have Drolls, I do have Fallens. I did not draw anything, which is unfortunate. I discard the Fusion, I normal the Aerial. We go Construct into the another Shaddoll Construct, getting the exact setup that I need, and then search back the Incarnation, activate Scalar's Fiend for the typical combo, now shuffle back the Ritual, which I'm gonna add later. I do Incarnation, set Beast, because I have basically draw 4 in this combo. He goes in, draw phase, activate Breakaway to set up the trap card. He's activating this to search Search, which pops a monster on my field and then summons a Thunder. So now I want to activate Wendy to draw Beast. I did not draw any hand trap, but I did draw Gurifo, which is nice, because now I have access to the trap card, the Mind Shuffle. So I go Shaddoll Fusion with the Skull, chain block correctly to get access to the BLS, and also Mind Shuffle with Aerial works really well here against his deck, because he needs the spell and trap cards in the graveyard to add them back. So this way, when he activates a card to pop a monster on my field, I can chain Mind Shuffle, discarding the Aerial and banishing his spell traps from the graveyard, which is really good. Plus, I get rid of any interruption on my turn. So I go Mind Shuffle, search Swordsman, which is a crazy turn 3 play, and I will discard the Aerial. So when he activates this to add back to the hand, I will banish it with Aerial. And then I have Schism for Sekinaga, which is an Earth. He cannot special summon because I have Winda. And yeah, all this follow-up is insane. Now game 2, he does kind of brick, but this deck is really difficult to start playing if you go first, I think, because you don't have that many starters. Although it's not like he doesn't have a good interruption here. He does have a Ryo, which is really good against my deck typically. He does have Dash Blossom for any potential out to Ryo if I try to add it with Fallen Virtues and then start playing. He does have Asp for that. And also he has Alternator, so if I out Ryo, he can get something that pops my guys on the field, I guess. Yeah. So I go Pot of Sloth here, try to draw 2. He has Asp Blossom for that, which is fine. Now, because this was negated, if I add it back, I can use it again. Which is my plan exactly. Because he bricked, I don't need to try to do over the top plays, I just need to play the grind game really well. I can go Mind Shuffle, search and discard the Skull. So Skull is gonna send Ritual and add Black Chaos. Then we're gonna add back this and Swordsman, really good. And then activate this. Simply as before, tributing the Ritual because I have this in the hand. So if he decides to go summon 2 somehow on my turn, I can banish them. And then I'm gonna add Pot of Sloth back because it's free. And we draw Void Unleashing. I guess we're lucky in this game, so we're gonna add our 2 best cards in the game, discards Kamata, yeah, this is wow. And then Grista, summoning Mersacher. Mersacher is basically game here. Shaddoll Fusion to dodge any more interruptions. Fusion, Apkalone, Hedgehog, and Wendy. And then Summon Skull is free. Now, this is game if I go battle phase, so I go battle phase. He has to Fleur de Lis in the main phase to save himself, but it's not like it's gonna do anything. Because I can go Shaddoll Fusion for Construct. This does have 0 attack, but it pops in the damage step the monster that he summons. I summon back a Hedgehog, I pop this, I activate Shaddoll Fusion, and then I have more than enough damage to go for game. Plus, I have full combo on my hands. Yeah, guys, this was the games that I had, at least so far with the deck. The deck is really good. The Chaos cards help the deck go second really well, as you see. So yeah, I think it's definitely a deck that you have to keep an eye out in Chaos Origins, because if you don't know what it does, you can very easily lose if you don't know where to interrupt or what handles are good against this deck. I hope you like the deck, guys. I definitely do. It's one of my options for Chaos Origin meta. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And guys, thank you for watching.